Well, Christ on a fucking bike. That was a mad week and a half, really. That is the first time I've ever had to remove a video because of people on the internet losing their fucking mind. Long-term viewers of the channel will know that I do videos in a very unique style, and more often than not, I'm usually on some level or another taking the piss. But I'm usually taking the piss to prove a point, or to make people think, or to further better flow the course of conversation about an idea. I've said this many times before, I explore ideas and opinions and thoughts, and they're not necessarily always my thoughts and opinions and ideas, but thoughts, opinions and ideas that I've seen on the internet. Everything on this channel is me and mine. Okay. Any of my associates, any associated parties, companies, whatever, they do not share my views. I do not speak for any of them. And that is the last time any of my associates will be implicated. Moving on. I've actually been doing some real modelling, and it's nice just to be able to actually do the thing that you actually love doing for a change. It can be very difficult just to get het up in life, and there's been a lot of stress. Iron Horse Towers over the past couple of weeks, with family members being very ill, and some still are very ill, and mental health and everything else. It all takes a bit of a dive, and then you have something like this happening, and it just makes the whole thing worse. So the layout has really helped me get over that challenging hump, shall we say. But I realise it's been a couple of weeks since you good folks actually saw the layout, and there's been quite a number of changes. So what we're going to do today is there's no controversial titles or iffy thumbnails or anything like that. We're just going to do some honest to goodness checking out my layout and discussing the build and going from there.
Welcome to Sawyer Models of Lee, your stop for model railway items, locomotives and more. With an absolutely fantastic range of locomotives in O gauge, double O, N, TT and more, you are sure to find the perfect locomotive to fit your budget. Ordering simple, you can either order on his website, go to the shop, pick up the phone, or see him at one of the many trade shows they attend throughout the season, with one of the biggest trade stalls you will ever see at a model railway show. Thanks for your support, boys and girls.
Here we are then, guys. Now I can't remember if last time we had the engine shed up or not, but we do now. This is the servicing depot from, I think it's Scenecraft, Batman Scenecraft, but I've got these from Rusty Rails, these little CCTV cameras. Now they don't come painted, but they paint up rather easily with acrylics. Of course I use the Humbrol acrylics. Got some there, got one on the back there, and I've got one you can just see it over there. And I've dotted these around the layout in various places because I think they just add a necessary thing. They're a part of the modern image scene. It's as simple as that. I've also been placing figures. We've got this chap over there having a crafty fag. That's one of the figures sent to me by Danny. Danny, I always forget your name, but Danny from Europe. Cool guy, awesome chap. He sent me loads of figures, so that's one of Danny's lot. Very cool. I'm also experimenting with the placement of scenery and accessories, so things may move around before I glue them down permanently. But I've also now got a Bachmann fueling point, the mini fueling point. It's not bedded into the scene yet, so do bear that in mind. And these sort of lighting out here, because I've got these lights here, and they just cast a shadow, so excuse me for this, guys. I've also been installing lighting. These, of course, are the legacy lighting options from DCC Concepts. Let me turn the light off, actually. Yeah, they always look really cool, and they add a really nice little bit of atmosphere to the layout. Not that I will ever run it at night much anyway, but it's nice to have that going on there. And whilst we're on to that bit, I'll scooch over here, and we've got it's technically a street lamp, but I've put it on this side of the depot. Oh, yes, the depot building. I've also put a light in the inside of it, so you can see there. So it's on this little cardboard thing, but from the outside, it looks like there's more going on the inside there. And I've built this kind of little shadow box you can just see there. Anyway, let's get the light back on, and I'll show you the rest of the layout. So we've actually got the depot building built. Now the roof isn't finished yet, or even begin to have been built, But I'm really happy I made this, and I went old school with this. This is just textured paper, but I made the textured papers myself in Inkscape, which a lot of you know that I've used in the past. And Michael from Chandwell, he builds all of his buildings from paper and cardstock, and they always look really cool. So I thought, why not? Why not use it? And that cost me about 10 pence to make, because the paper was liberated from work, and so was the ink, and the cardboard box. It was an old Nintendo Switch box. So there we are. So that's cool. That's really filled out the scene. The idea is going to be, in ordinary operation, the roof would go on like this. That's not a roof, obviously, at the minute. That's just the thing. But the idea would be that I've not my light over now. That's good, isn't it? What a dickhead. Basically, the roof would sit on there, but it wouldn't be the whole length of the thing. It'd just be about there. And when/if I get a chance to operate this layout at an exhibition, I can actually load a dirty wagon in there, and then off scene I can frig about with it and put a clean one on in its place. But that brings me to this next bit. You'll notice we have the KR Models Hunslet Bobo Diesel, and I've weathered it now, and it looks a hell of a lot better. And like I said in my review video, it's a great model. It's just, you know, a few little things make it look a little bit plasticky, but it's so easy to sort that out. I mean, you wouldn't have even known there was this rivet detail. Like, I can't see because of this damn lighting, but you wouldn't have even known there was this like lining detail on top of the bonnets and what have you, because the paint was so plasticky. But with a gentle wash, it looks so good, and it really does make this model shine for the awesome bit of kit that it actually is. And I love that thing. It's really nice. There's nothing else like it on the market in terms of industrial shunters, with perhaps the exception of like the Janus from Oxford Rail / was it Brightland Hobbies or something? I don't know. Golden Valley Hobbies, that's the one. So it's a really cool little bit of kit. And I think that, I mean, just sat there as a little depot scene, that looks absolutely fantastic. And I am just so happy with it. Let me just actually fire it up. Probably a bit too fast for the speed limit imposed there, but there we are. So the idea is, obviously this has been sped up, but the loco would go into the shed with the wagon, and then behind the scenes, uncouple the model like that. Then you put the clean one on in place of it. Then the loco would drive out. So the loco would then come out. Cool. Let's turn that power on. Let's turn that engine off for now anyway. Right, so that's what would then happen. And then, as if by magic, this door here, I've built little cardboard runners for it. And there's actually two doors. There's this one, which you can just sort of put in place manually. But I've got a second one made, and I want to motorise it. But I don't know if I can. I need to mount it a bit higher up. But the idea would be that the door would then close. And then you can't see inside that whatsoever. The loco would go away. Something else would happen on the layout. So say, for example, a loco might come for fueling on the fuel point or whatever. And then, oh look, another loco would come and the shed would open. And then that loco would retrieve the cleaned version or the repaired version of the wagon that went in before it. So that means I'm going to have to buy two of every wagon from now on. But there we are. So really happy with that. This standing crane is from Westhill Wagon Works, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I added my own chain to the hooks and just painted them with some oil brushes from Mig Ammo. They give a really nice rusty look. I was tempted to rust up the crane a little bit more, but I don't know, it's still a working crane. So it's one of them things. I don't want to go too mad with it, guys. So there we are. Anyway, moving down this side, at the end, we've got this little reballasting scene. And again, these little pallet trucks are for, whatever you call these things, the little rail trucks. They again are from our friends over at Western Wagon Works. These are just Batman figures. I don't know where I got these from. Little bags of aggregate, and this is the DCC Concepts ballast as well. But we've got a chap with his shovel there. We've got this team of men doing some reballasting, digging out the points at the end there, digging out the track at the end there. I think it has just a little bit of operational interest, and I've got a little stop thing on the track there. Technically speaking, that, I think, as far as railway rules go, that would mean that locos wouldn't be able to operate in this area because there would be a line possession. So I kind of get that that shouldn't be the case because locals will still be using this head shunt to get to the fuel point. But at the same time, I think we can have a little bit of an allowance for some visual interest. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy with that. We've also got Harbottle there. He's got all of this fuel drum slash water drum slash AdBlue, whatever it is. I haven't decided. It's a thing. We've also got Mr. Porter over there. You can just see him at the back there, scratching his head between the crane. And of course, we've got Albert having a cheeky fag. So it's looking really good. And I might play with the placement of some of this stuff as well. Some of it's going to be glued down. Some of it will be black tacked down. And if I ever do take it to an exhibition, the black tack stuff can just come up and be put into a safe box and then put on before the exhibition starts. And so things like this. And, you know, I might change it around every couple of hours so it looks cool and different and changes. This front bit's going to be allotments, I think. So I'll put like a fence up there, then build the allotments. But again, only after I've done everything at the back, because the last thing you want to do is be reaching over and then knocking all your details off. These speed limit signs, they're really cool. Again, they're from Westall Wagon Works. They're really good. That's a 5 mile an hour one there. And then we've got a 25 mile an hour one because this is a preserve railway. So the max speed will be 25 miles an hour going back up the line. I'm also thinking about, for the filler yard, extending, putting like a little bit of carve there, just to sort of hide the fact that it's the filler yard. So if anyone's looking down from here, they can't just see me frigging about. There'd be a little bit of card there. So that's something to think about later on. These are concrete blocks, which I had made from a friend of mine a long time ago. Can't remember who made them. I think it was Dave, possibly Dave. I can't remember. And of course, we've got the Loco fleet. My little shunters are going really well. At Settle Model Rail Festival, I bought 2 locomotives. And it's been 2 locos that I've had on my list for a while now because I like tiny, weird little diesel shunters. And I've got the Hellion Class 2, Hellion Class 5, I think that is. But I also picked up a Hornby Sentinel 0401. If you look in the cab, it is crammed full of wires, speakers, and decoder because I've sound fitted it like the mad genius that I am. It's not the best sound fit in the world, but it does work. And that is set to number 777. The sound profile isn't really a Sentinel, but it sounds close enough for what it is. Let's have a listen. Start this thing up. I think it sounds well enough for what it is. And of course, I've also done the same thing with the Janus Shunter, which is on address number 6, I think it is. Yeah. And the sound profile I've got for that is this, I don't know what it is, it's this German thing, but I think it sounds pretty good. I think it does the job just nicely. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm really pleased with how the layout's coming on. It's all falling into place. I just need to think about where things are going to be permanent and then where things are going to be what I could just sort of pick them up and move them around. The shed will need to be removable. So all of these bits and pieces will be glued to the shed and not the floor, just to save time. So we'll have to think about that. We've got some detail going on behind the shed as well, but there we are. And we've got an Eddie Stobbart who has somehow managed to get his wagon into there. That shadow's horrible, isn't it? My God. We put a light on. That's kind of better, but it's still not great. So yeah, the Eddie Stobbart guys really somehow managed to get that in there incredibly well. There used to be a fuel tank here, but I wasn't happy with it, so I'm going to rethink what goes there. I've put a pump house there for now. Maybe some kind of small fuel tank. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm happy with this, guys. And hopefully you lot are as well. To all the people last week that stood out and gave me plus what I'm looking for support during the nonsense that was going on, really, guys, thank you so much. And if you're one of the people that did give me a hard time last week, I really hope you've had a chance to go back through my back catalogue and look at the videos I've done for small railway clubs and railway shows and everything else. And you see that I am about the hobby doing well. I really am. So hopefully that can be the end of it and we'll move on and I'll be happy and live happily ever after. Right. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Sawyer Models. As always, huge help with making this whole thing possible. So just, go give him a check out, guys. If you want to get anything for your railway, give Andy a shout. He'll do his best to get it for you. Right. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. That really does help me out, guys. And I'll see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye for now.